So I wanted to talk to you guys regarding the Trump Zelensky JD Vance meeting in the Oval Office and then Saturday Night Live. So I watched the Saturday Night Live clips, and although it was really funny, I don't think people understand how detrimental and chaotic the meeting was and what that means for us and our allies. It's to the point where we have allies. Ukraine is an ally. We have allies who we are going against, and it almost seems as that, well, not us, our president apparently is going against it. It almost seemed like we're siding with the bad guys, and that's extremely dangerous. It's extremely unprecedented. It's bad. And so I want to talk about the SNL piece of it, but I also want to talk about Marco Rubio, right? I don't have the same politics as Marco Rubio, Little Marco, what Donald Trump calls him, but I know he knows his stuff regarding foreign policy, and I know he's been in the government for a really long time, and people, even people who do not support him, people who don't understand why he's working for the administration, but they also speak to his credentials, his qualifications, and the fact that he knows his job. So the fact that Marco Rubio went on to Caitlin Collins' show and basically said Zelensky owes the America an apology disturbed me on a level I can't even explain to you guys, because this man knows better. I think one of the most disturbing things about Trump and his supporters, I think that, okay, people have their supporters. Really bad people in history have supporters. Good people have supporters. People have their supporters. I'm not necessarily concerned about the supporters. I think what I am concerned about is how Trump is able to make people who know what they're doing, know how detrimental and chaotic what they're doing is. They know better and they still do it anyway. It's the reason people call MAGA a cult. The way that Donald Trump is able to get people to do things that they know is wrong, that they know what they're saying is not true, I don't understand it. I'm sure in the future, people are going to study Donald Trump. People are going to study his influence. People are going to study how he was able to get people to just do his bidding, to go against their own morality, their own principles. It's disturbing. It seems as if right now in our political climate, only women are standing up, only women are being strong, only women. Did you guys see, I think it was maybe she was a senator or mayor of Maryland or someplace. But the woman that told Donald Trump basically told her what she was going to do. And she kept saying, I'm going to follow federal and state law. And he know, I am the federal law. You better do X, Y, and Z, or you're not going to get money. He basically, in front of everybody, was basically telling this woman, I'm not going to give your constituents who are American citizens, I'm not going to give them money and resources if you don't do what I say. And that woman shot back, see you in court. That is the type of energy, that is the type of leadership that is needed. And it's not coming from men. It's so crazy when men are like, oh, women are too emotional to be leaders. Women are the only ones that's standing up, the only one that's being strong, the only ones that have backbones. Like, what are you talking about? You have all of these men that are just falling in line and doing whatever this man says. They are going to make it very, very difficult for us to have any allies, for anyone to trust us, for anyone to support us, to believe in us, to advocate for us, to fight alongside of. I'm just so frustrated by this because there's no leadership. Like, there's no, and listen to me. I'm not only talking about on one side. I'm not only talking about on the Republican side. We had on the Democratic side, there are people who are fighting and advocating, but they're not making enough noise. They're not. They're not making enough noise because what we are seeing on a daily basis is the most chaotic shit ever. You have Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, laying off federal workers, making it difficult for them to feed their children. The richest man in the world is doing that. You have Donald Trump just in the Oval Office just berating, disrespecting our ally. You have JD Vance acting like a petulant child. You're not saying thank you. It's like, what the, like, every day it's chaos. Every single day there's something else. It's something else to read up on, to be outraged about, to be enraged about. It's every day. This is another reason why I would never begin to understand why Americans thought that Donald Trump was good to be president again, or good for this moment. Because we already lived through 4 years of this extreme chaos. Every day something is going on. Every day he's pissing off another person. And this whole thing, this is another thing. This whole thing about being contrarian or being a strong man, that does not get you anywhere. Like, Donald Trump, what he's doing now, you have a section of the Republican Party is like, this is good politics. This is how? Now nobody trusts us. Now nobody want to work alongside of us. Now our allies are pissed at us. And you have other allies that are siding with Zelensky's, as they should. So now America first has become America alone. And as big as this country is, as much money as the country has, all of these things, it's always better to have allies, no matter how powerful you think you are. Because you piss everybody off and then they gang up together and they become more powerful within each other. Because now they don't want to advocate and be an ally to you. So people who voted for Donald Trump and they like, oh, I voted for him because he's America first. How did America first become America alone? How does that work? And the Republican Party got such a, almost like this, I don't know, this weird thing about strong men. This is what being strong is. Like, everybody on that side, whether we're talking about Pete Hasek, and all of these people are talking about strength. But they do not understand strength comes from the mind. They're thinking like, I'm just going to strong arm people into positions. That's not going to work. Real strength is about your mental. How strong are you mentally? How smart are you? How strategic are you? Not just going around being a bully. And now you have European allies basically coming together, rallying behind Zelensky, as they should. And now we're looked at as the bad guy when America is always supposed to be the moral leader, the beacon of hope. That's not what is happening right now. So I watched SNL and I laughed and I'm like, this is funny. But the real world repercussions is very, very, very serious. Very serious. And we can laugh about it. We can like make TikTok videos about it. We can make YouTube videos about it. But when you really think about what is happening, it is extremely scary and it's extremely dangerous. Donald Trump got Zelensky and JD Vance. That was all a setup. You can tell how it was done. First of all, Donald Trump is a man who likes to talk. He likes to sit in rooms. He likes people to go around the table and tell him how much they love him and clap at everything he say. So the fact that JD Vance kind of was running the meeting, he was talking the most, that's how you know it was strategic right there. Because Donald Trump don't do things that way. He's not a person that just lets somebody else take the floor. Originally, when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, it seems as if he was sitting back and observing, but this was a plan. This was a plan. And it was a poorly orchestrated plan considering JD Vance, his questions were so surface. And it was kind of like, so have you thanked the president? Have you bowed down? Have you kissed the ring like we all have? And JD, that's not how politics work normally. In Trump day and age with the cultist kind of shit, that's how it's working now. But that's not how politics is supposed to work. It's not supposed to be a matter of somebody kissing your ass and bowing down and bending down. That's not how it's supposed to work. Zelensky said, I thank the American people. Those are the people who, and okay, so let's talk about this. Zelensky has said several times that he thanked the American people. The thanks goes to the American people because those are our tax dollars. Donald Trump, he basically said to Zelensky, I gave you the power to be a tough guy. First of all, who the fuck talk like that? You're the president of the United States. Like, come on, bruh. Like, and you gave him the power to be a tough guy. Why? Because he was given money and resources. That's our money. Those are our resources. The American people. Donald Trump has this thing that he makes everything about himself. So, and first of all, Congress appropriates the funds. Because if we need to take a little tour, like we want to talk about politics and how the government actually works. Donald Trump, you are in the executive branch, right? You execute laws, right? But Congress is the legislative branch. Congress and the Senate, the House and the Senate makes up the Congress. The Congress appropriates the funds. You are in the executive branch, Donald Trump. You don't appropriate the funds. You are not in charge of the purse strings. So even your logic is off in regards to Zelensky having to thank you. Shouldn't he thank us, the American people, who money it is, and Congress, who appropriated the funds? Yes, you are the president, but you are not in control of the purse strings. So even as ridiculous as it is to yell and scream and berate and disrespect another president, what you're saying is intellectually dishonest because it ain't your money. It's our money. And he said he thanked the American people. So he did what he was supposed to do. And you using money, and this is the thing about, it's like, oh, we need a businessman to run the government. The government and businesses work very, very differently. Donald Trump thinking, and this is where he always bumps up against criminality, because he wants to run it like a business. So you withholding funds or telling people, I'm not going to give you this if you don't do X, Y, and Z, that's not how the government works. That's how business work. You can do that in business. You can tell people, if you don't do what I want you to do, if you don't meet these terms, then you don't get any money. But that's not how the government works. The government works is once Congress appropriate the funds, it does not matter if you like the person or not, Donald Trump, the funds go to them. It's the same thing with USID. Let's have a conversation about that. So I don't think there is one American that thinks that the government runs efficiently. I think we all think that there's waste. I think we all think that the government runs inefficiently. However, when Congress appropriates funds, the funds go to whatever organization that Congress appropriated the funds. So it's not a matter of, oh, well, it's wasteful, I'm just going to stop it. That's not constitutional. That's not how it goes. So you can agree, because you can hold two thoughts in your head, okay? You can say, yes, there is waste. Yes, absolutely. There's waste. The government is inefficient. It runs inefficiently. Absolutely, 100%. But once Congress appropriates funds, now the president has the right to determine when the funds go out, apparently. But the funds, once that money is allocated to that particular organization, that organization gets the money, regardless to whether or not you feel that it's wasteful or not. Because in the Constitution, Congress is in charge of the purse strings. And people, it's like, even people who voted for Donald Trump, it's like, well, there's wasteful spending. Yeah, it is. But the president, because he don't control the purse strings, can't really do much about what Congress appropriates. So your congressmen, your lawmakers, the legislative branch, your lawmakers are the people you go after. Not go after, but the people that you hold accountable. Because they are the ones that's appropriating the funds, because they are in charge of the purse strings. It's the problem in this country is education. As mean as it sounds, people are stupid as fuck. Yeah, they are. And they don't understand the Constitution. They don't understand how things work. And that's the reason that they vote for this madman that's now fucking attacking our allies on national TV. International TV. I'm sure that's been seen all around the world. So, yes, SNL was funny. It was funny, but if you think about the real world repercussions, this shit is very dangerous. And it's sad. And the meeting between Trump, Zelensky, and JD Vance was ghetto. It was inappropriate. It was embarrassing. I watched it and I cringed. I literally cringed, because that's some shit that happens at a bar, not in the Oval Office. That's conversations that you have in a bar when people going back, because we're talking about people's lives, right? Even when Trump started the meeting, he was like, well, Zelensky has issues with Putin and Putin has issues with Zelensky. They're in war. They're killing each other men. Of course they don't like each other. But why is that important? It's like me calling one friend like, girl, yeah, because she said she don't like you because... This shit was ghetto. And it was dangerous. So I showed you guys a couple of clips of the SNL skit. Like I said, I thought it was funny. But I don't know, I'm getting old, child. Because I can laugh at something and then I'll start thinking about it like, yeah, that was funny, but this shit is dangerous and it's scary. So yeah, we can laugh, we can get our little kiki in, but we really need to understand and we really need to educate ourselves on how dangerous what happened was, how unprecedented what happened was. Because after you start laughing, educate yourself. If you laugh. People need escapism. People need to find a way to not be so enraged and angry. I understand that completely. I watch pranks on YouTube. That's how I like kind of calm myself down and enjoy myself. I like to watch pranks. So I understand needing escapism. I understand needing to like get out of the craziness of this, but also educate yourself on how dangerous this shit is and how it can really, because when Zelensky said what he said, when JD Vance went all off, JD Vance didn't have any business being there. I don't give a fuck that he's the vice president. He acted like a petulant child. Did you say thank you to the president? Like the way that Donald Trump gets these men to appease him is disturbing. It's the reason that people say MAGA is a cult. You're talking to another president that's in war. His people are dying as he's sitting there. And you're talking about he ain't thanked the president? I see people say all the time, like, they'll be like, I'll never forgive a person that voted for this administration. And I used to think like, you know, I kind of understand that, but at the same time, people have their own choices and rights or whatever, but I am starting to feel like that I would never forgive y'all for this. Because this didn't have to be this way, but because you guys hate black women and hate uteruses so bad, apparently. Because the fact that that woman is black and she had fallopian tubes was a no-go for so many people, and that's the most disturbing part about all of this. So, I just wanted to bring that video to you guys because, like I said, I watched SNL and I was just like, this shit is funny, but it is scary as well. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.